Hi there. Thank you very much for always visiting my Samurai Japanese vlog. O genki desu ka? If you have spirits, you can do anything. In January 2015, I went to Malaysia to become an international and mature student at a graduate school with my family. Yes, it was surely the biggest moment in my life. Moving from an apartment in Hokkaido, Japan, we stayed at a condominium while in Malaysia. The rent of condo there was, in fact, around 500 ringgit less expensive than that of my previous apartment in Japan. But it was mind-boggling. すごいですね. Other than parking lot, it had a middle-sized shopping mall, swimming pool, and a training gym with security guard. You name it. In fact, we couldn't ask for better than that condo. Am I a celebrity? After I graduated from my master program in Malaysia, we went back to Hokkaido and got back to a normal life again until now. Kinda boring life. What I had encountered in Malaysia with that condo was beyond imagination for most Japanese. Do you think that we boasted about it after we went back to Japan? No way! We never showed it off at all. Yes, we were afraid of their jealousy. I couldn't be bothered to break the stereotype image to Malaysia for nothing. You know why? Okay, let's see the detail. 行くぜ! Let's find out! My son was in the first year of junior high school when he went back to Japan. He was welcomed and surrounded by his old friends. On the day of his entrance ceremony, he received a various textbook. Ooh, this is the textbooks of the geography. Let's see Malaysia, our second home. Our traditional longhouse? Is that all? It describes to avoid the humidity, the people live in a raised flooring type house while cultivating corns. A shopping mall, swimming pool, and a training gym with security guards. Where did our modern life in Malaysia go? ちょっと待ってください. Give me a break. Surely, in today's world, high-rise condos can be seen in any countries. Nothing new. These were not the features that characterize Malaysia. I have seen one of these traditional houses at the park or rural area in Malaysia, but we felt that it was not the scenery which represents today's Malaysia on the top page. So, did you live in a house like this in Malaysia? Some of my son's friends asked him. Oh, not exactly. Well, we resided in an apartment. Yeah, more modernized one. He seems to modify obliquely instead of denying flatly because he was afraid of any social ostracism resulting from breaking the stereotype in public. Jealousy and peer pressure in a homogeneous country. It's kind of feeling that non-Japanese can hardly understand. 3 years later, he entered high school. Classmates were more matured, and they were beginning to understand the world a lot more. He looked forward to finding the description regarding the development of Malaysia on his new textbooks and share his experience with his new classmates without any hesitation. 時は来た! Time has come! Oh, the world history consisting of over 200 pages. Let's see how it describes Malaysia, turning over the page one by one. Ooh, the first chapter starts from the civilization in Eurasia. I see. On the page 20, this paragraph is titled The Formation of Islamic World. I felt getting closer. Go on, go on. The moment you have been all waiting for, The first description about Malaysia on the page 36. Foundation of Kerajaan Sriwijaya in the late 7th century by Malay people and also Malacca Sultanate in 14th century. Just 5 lines description. Next, page 78, Malacca Sultanate. It says, in Southeast Asia, with the deal of paper glue, Portugal had occupied Malacca Sultanate in the early 16th century. Is that all? Just 2 lines here. Cannot be helped. Let's move on. Malaysia. Nothing here. Page 126. In 19th century, Singapore, Malacca, and Penang were colonized by UK, and these areas became free trade ports. Because of this, many Chinese and Indian immigrants began to settle, and the UK founded Federal Malay States in 1895. There is description across 9 lines in total. Okay, let's move on to the Second World War. Page 183. It says, in December 1941, Japan declared war on British and USA by making a surprise attack on British Malaya and Pearl Harbor, and resulted in the Pacific War. Japan has occupied most of Southeast Asia within a short period of time. It's described over 4 lines. In the past, I have seen a lot of exhibits regarding the occupation by Empire of Japan at Malaysia National Museum. But here, it's been packed within only 4 lines. To be fair is not fair. ダメだこりゃ。Nonsense. And finally, I've found the word Malaysia. Federation of Malaya in 1957, Federation of Malaysia in 1963, and spin-off by Singapore in 1965. 4 lines in total on page 204. Okay, let's run it through here. Foundation of Kerajaan Sriwijaya and Malacca Sultanate, 5 lines. The occupation of Malacca Sultanate by Portugal, 2 lines. Foundation of Federated Malay State, 9 lines. Occupation by Empire of Japan, 4 lines. And independence of Malaysia and Singapore, 4 lines. It's 24 lines in total and almost equivalent to a 2/3 page out of over 200 pages. Very little. For your reference, I counted the case of Indonesia too. It has about 27 lines in total. The volume between the 2 nations were almost the same, but I felt Indonesia has more photos. While in Malaysia, I have seen plenty of descriptions about Empire of Japan on the reference box. I'm very sorry if this fact disappointed you. I just wanted to know the fact for myself and also wanted to share it with you guys. Currently, there exists a wide information gap between 2 nations, I must admit it. It reminds me of one experience that I encountered in my childhood. 1980s, Japan has experienced rapid economic growth, becoming a developed nation. As Japan developed more, the more Europeans and Americans began to visit Japan. Surprisingly, some of them seriously believed that samurai and ninja still existed even then, and even harakiri. Alamak! I hope nobody believes such things now. country's development comes first and people's recognition comes next. People see things with some prejudice in all ages. I have been through it. Speaking of prejudice, some Japanese living in other than Hokkaido still believe that Hokkaido local live with wild bears and foxes in cities based on prejudice. Prejudice, stereotype, such things appear anywhere. So, how can we fill this information gap between Malaysia and Japan? I wish I could be a little help to link two nations through this Samurai Japanglish vlog. That's what I'm here for. Hi. Japan boleh.